So he's president, so you have the presidential flag being borne behind him by the honor guard, and then there is Ambassador Painor.
I can't help it but look at the shoes of the president, because I think David, being the host of executive class, has somehow given the sartorial
As Jessica
checklist.
Zafra would put it, has sent Kilay into orbit. But,
Yeah, you know, the beige pants matched with a barong with hardly any embroidery on it, and the shoes. I don't know whether David
They look
noticed.
like loafer slip-ons.
Yes. So, you know,
There
in,
we go.
in a sense, still maintaining the formality, but in a very casual style, I guess.
I can't
But
quite
again,
make out if
it-
that's
it-
actually corduroy. It's kind of has like a soft fall to it. His trousers, I'm referring to.
But you know, this is the good thing about these rituals and these traditions in a republic. It's not about the man, it's about the office.
Yeah.
So the man can choose to wear what he likes, what is comfortable with him, but he subscribes to what is inherent to the office. And here, so now, earlier he had been to the side, now he's front and center, and here he is.
Tanghal! Ta! Palupunan, mga pinuno at kawal. Tanghal! Ta! Dala. Kalis. Baba. Ta! Mahal na Pangulo, handa na po ang tanod. Mahal na Pangulo, tawag. Huwag kamay. Ha! Ba kamay. Ha! Tanghal! Ta! Kalupunan, tanghal! Ta! Baba, ta! Ang dadala, kalis. Baba, ta! Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang parangal.
Kindly tell the troops that I am very appreciative.
Yes, sir.
Of you.
Mga kasama, pinapaabot ng ating mahal na Pangulo, kagalang-galang Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang kanyang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa parangal na ginawad natin sa kanya ngayong hapon. Baba, kalis.
Oh, President Rodrigo Duterte there meeting
Yes,
the various service commanders after
having
full
received
military honors.
It would be nice to know from David, if he has a chance to find out, what the march was that they played
The
while
music that they
President Duterte reviewed the troops when he trooped the line. It would be interesting to know if that's a temporary song selected by the armed forces, or if that's going to be the theme song that's used by the new president. After this, meeting the service commanders, the president is then going to enact the ritual of the climbing of the stairs, which is in itself full of symbolism and is one of the older traditions in our. It's been 81 years exactly since this tradition began.
Yeah.
The symbolism is actually very simple. It began with a legend, which is the legend that Rizal's mother, when she found out that her son had been condemned to die. And let's not forget that the order of execution was signed in Malacanang. That Rizal's mother climbed the stairs of Malacanang on her knees to beg for
Plead
the
for
life
her
of her
life,
son.
of
So
her
the
son's
tradition began that, in contrast to the alien governor generals that lived there, a Filipino president enters Malacanang standing up as the free leader of a free people with the burden never to be a tyrant to their own people, because of that memory of Rizal.
Well, of course, we do know how history turned out after 1972.
Well, it continues to be a reproach to every president and a warning. And at the same time, it's an act of possession as a tenant, because after all, Malacanang belongs to the public and is lent to the president for 6 years.
After having witnessed the full military honors, we now anticipate, of course, as you were saying, that much anticipated ascent up the Malacanang main lobby through the main staircase.
Yes,
But
here
let
he
me
goes.
ask,
He's
there you go.
Being again, and this is the part where a president must now get accustomed to protocol, to always being surrounded, to have their every act and gesture
Proper.
not only proper but monitored and reported upon and commented upon and discussed. Here he goes. He's entering the lobby of the
Just to be clear,
palace.
this is the exact same set of stairs. When we refer to the main staircase, it's always just been one since 81 years ago.
Yes, the palace today was rebuilt in 1978 to 1979, but the general location of the stairs is the same. We're looking at a building that has been significantly enlarged and changed over the years. So the new president is there talking to the staff. You can see again, every gesture will be watched closely. The ease with which he deals with both VIPs and regular staff.
The demeanor, whether you
yes.
put your hand in your pocket or
Yes.
not at the appropriate time or inappropriate
Well,
time.
it's a president, so it's always appropriate. At least if you were to ask Ambassador Painor.
All right,
So
and
now
now-
he's being accompanied, and here he is to take formal possession, and it's the first time.
It's being
To climb
coached
the
by
stairs.
Ambassador Painor.
Yes.
For a brief moment, he did the
Yeah.
stairs a once-over right
Yeah.
there, right?
Make sure you give the photographers and the cameraman enough time to film
Exactly.
you. So
Exactly.
take it slow,
Yes.
climb gradually. Here you go.
And upon closer inspection, those look like boots, right?
Probably are. Yep.
I state your name. Having been appointed to the position of solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties of my present position and all others that I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines. And that impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily. Without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. To borrow the language of F. Shinel Jose, we have become our own worst enemies, and we must have the courage and the will to change ourselves. Love of country, subordination of personal interests to the common good, concern and care for the helpless and the impoverished. These are among the lost and faded values that we seek to recover and revitalize as we commence our journey towards a better Philippines. The ride will be rough, but come and join me just the same. Together, shoulder to shoulder, let us take the first wobbly steps in this quest. There are two quotations from revered figures that shall serve as the foundation upon which this administration shall be built. The test of government is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide for those who have little, says Roosevelt. And from Lincoln, I draw this inspiration. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the poor by discouraging the rich. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further brotherhood by inciting class hatred among men. My economic and financial political policies are contained in those quotations, though couched in general terms. Read between the lines. I need not go to specifics now. They shall be supplied to you in due time. However, there are certain policies and specifics of which cannot help wait for tomorrow to be announced. Therefore, I direct all department secretaries and the heads of agencies to reduce requirements and the processing time of all applications from the submission to release. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to remove redundant requirements, and compliance with one department or agency shall be accepted as sufficient for all. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to refrain from changing and bending the rules of government contracts, transactions, and projects already approved and awaiting implementation. Changing the rules when the game is ongoing is wrong. I abhor secrecy and instead advocate transparency in all government contracts, projects, and business transactions, from submission of proposals to negotiation to perfection and finally to consummation. Do them, and we will work together. Do not do them, we will part sooner than later. President Fidel Ramos, Sir, salamat po sa tulong mo, making me President. President Joseph Ejercito Estrada, Senate President Franklin Drilon, and the members of the Senate, Speaker Feliciano Belmonte, and the members of the House of Representatives, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, His Excellency Giuseppe Pinto, and the members of the Diplomatic Corps, incoming members of the Cabinet, fellow workers in government, my fellow countrymen. No leader, however strong, can succeed at anything of national importance or significance unless he has the support and cooperation of the people he is tasked to lead and sworn to serve. It is the people from whom democratic governments draw strength, and this administration is no exception. That is why we have to listen to the murmurings of the people, feel their pulse, supply their needs, and fortify their faith and trust in us, whom they elected to public office. There are many amongst us who advance the assessment that the problems that bedevil our country today, which need to be addressed with urgency, are corruption, both in the high and low echelons of government, criminality in the streets, and the rampant sale of illegal drugs in all strata of Philippine society, and the breakdown of law and order, true but not absolutely so. For I say these ills are mere symptoms of a virulent social disease that creeps and cuts into the moral fiber of Philippine society. I sense a problem deeper and more serious than any of those mentioned or all of them put together. But of course, it is not to say that we will ignore them, because they have to be stopped by all means that the law allows. Erosion of faith and trust in government, that is the real problem that confronts us, resulting therefrom I see the erosion of the people's trust in our country's leaders, the erosion of faith in our judicial system, the erosion of confidence in the capacity of our public servants to make the people's lives better, safer, and healthier. Indeed, ours is a problem that dampens the human spirit, but all is not lost. I know that there are those who do not approve of my methods of fighting criminality, the sale and use of illegal drugs and corruption. They say that my methods are unorthodox and verge on the illegal. In response, let me say this. I have seen how corruption bled the government of funds which were allocated for the use in uplifting the poor from the mire that they are in. I have seen how illegal drugs destroy individuals and ruin family relationships. I have seen how criminality, by means all foul, snatched from the innocent and the unsuspecting the years and years of accumulated savings, years of toil, and then suddenly they are back to where they started. Look at this from that perspective and tell me that I am wrong. In this fight, I ask Congress and the Commission of Human Rights and all others who are similarly situated to allow us a level of governance that is consistent to our mandate. The fight will be relentless and it will be sustained. As a lawyer and a former prosecutor, I know the limits of the power and authority of the President. I know what is legal and what is not. My adherence to due process and the rule of law is uncompromising. You mind your work, and I will mind mine. Malasakit, tunay na pagbabago, tinud-anay ang kausaban. These are the words which catapulted me to the presidency. The slogans were conceptualized not for the sole purpose of securing the votes of the electorate. Tinud-anay ang kabaguhan, mao kani ang tumong sa atong gobyerno. Far from that, these were battle cries articulated by me in behalf of a people hungry for genuine and meaningful change. But that change, if it is to be permanent and significant, must start with us and in us. To borrow the language of F. Shinel Jose, we have become our own worst enemies, and we must have the courage and the will to change ourselves. Love of country, subordination of personal interests to the common good, concern and care for the helpless and the impoverished. These are among the lost and faded values that we seek to recover and revitalize as we commence our journey towards a better Philippines. The ride will be rough, but come and join me just the same. Together, shoulder to shoulder, let us take the first wobbly steps in this quest. There are two quotations from revered figures that shall serve as the foundation upon which this administration shall be built. The test of government is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide for those who have little, says Roosevelt. And from Lincoln, I draw this inspiration. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the poor by discouraging the rich. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further brotherhood by inciting class hatred among men. My economic and financial political policies are contained in those quotations, though couched in general terms. Read between the lines. I need not go to specifics now. They shall be supplied to you in due time. However, there are certain policies and specifics of which cannot help wait for tomorrow to be announced. Therefore, I direct all department secretaries and the heads of agencies to reduce requirements and the processing time of all applications from the submission to release. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to remove redundant requirements, and compliance with one department or agency shall be accepted as sufficient for all. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to refrain from changing and bending the rules of government contracts, transactions, and projects already approved and awaiting implementation. Changing the rules when the game is ongoing is wrong. I abhor secrecy and instead advocate transparency in all government contracts, projects, and business transactions, from submission of proposals to negotiation to perfection and finally to consummation. Do them and we will work together. Do not do them, we will part sooner than later. On the international front and community of nations, let me reiterate that the Republic of the Philippines will honor treaties and international obligations. On the domestic front, my administration is committed to implement all signed peace agreements in step with constitutional and legal reforms. I am elated by the expression of unity among our Moro brothers and leaders and the response of everyone else to my call for peace. I look forward to the participation of all other stakeholders, particularly our indigenous peoples, to ensure inclusivity in the peace process. Let me remind, in the end of this talk, that I was elected to the presidency to serve the entire country. I was not elected to serve the interest of any person or any group or any one class. I serve everyone and not only one. And that is why I have adopted as an article of faith the following lines written by someone whose name I could no longer recall. He said, I have no friends to serve. I have no enemies to harm. Presenting, therefore, I now ask everyone, and I mean everyone, to join me as we embark on this crusade for a better and brighter tomorrow. But before I end, let me express the nation's, in behalf of the people, our condolences to the Republic of Turkey for what has happened in the place. We offer our deepest condolences. Why am I here? Hindi kasali ito dyan. The past tense was, I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines. I am here, why? Because I am ready to start my work for the nation. Thank you and good afternoon.